I really would like to know, kind of in your own words, what body work and body-centered therapy is.
Okay. So body work, I think, is a term used for massage therapists and people who do Reiki and hands-on healing and that sort of thing. That's at least what I think of when I hear about body work. But body-centered psychotherapy or body-centered counseling, also called somatic counseling or body-informed counseling, is all about helping people access the wisdom of the body and the information that's stored in the body. What we think of as the mind, typically, is when we're talking about the mind, we're normally just thinking about this thinking brain that's between our two ears. And for a long time, we thought that this thing between our ears was running the show, and actually it's not. What we call the unconscious mind is also called the body mind. So we know now that a lot of the information that we used to think was stored somewhere in here is actually stored in the body. So this thinking brain up here, when it comes to the mind, the human mind, this thinking brain that we have here is just the tip of the iceberg. What's in the body and what's in the nervous system and what we're holding and carrying on a cellular level is the rest of the iceberg. So when we can learn how to access what we're holding at a cellular level, that helps us get to the root of what's going on versus just trying to operate from our heads. Because anything that you can think of, anything that you can talk about, is just a very, very tiny piece of what's really going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then how are you kind of combining the mind and the body and like the attention? Are you going back and forth between both of them in your work?
Well, when people first come to see me, they're obviously comfortable with just mostly talking about what they know and talking about what they have going on. And I'll certainly use traditional talk therapy with people, as kind of just to help it feel familiar and safe to them. But when I explain to them what else we can do and how we can access the body and learn how to listen to it, and once they're comfortable, we start doing that. And the trick in terms of using the mind and the body together, it's really more like what we're doing is using the mind to quiet the mind. We're not gonna. The biggest challenge in doing body-centered work, and the biggest challenge for people who are learning how to do body-centered work, therapists learning how to use it, is to undo the thinking brain. Yeah. Sorry, I thought that was a snake.
No, you're fine. I'll make sure to tell you if there's a snake coming for you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Do the same for me.
I will. Yeah, so what was I saying?
So that's the hardest thing for a therapist to undo is the thinking mind.
Yes, the hardest thing for therapists, and the hardest thing for us as people in general to do, is to quiet the thinking brain. We're very attached to it and very identified with it. We like to think that we know. So the tricky part is, it's not, you can help them work together, but the biggest challenge at first is to help quiet this thing first. Quiet this thing and connect with the body. And connect with the body through very simple means, like getting grounded, feeling your feet on the ground, learning how to breathe. The breath is really the bridge between the thinking brain and the body. So doing very simple things like that is really just a simple process that I use with people. And it's a very simple process of Lee. And this very simple process is used to quiet the mind. Mm-hmm. Well, people normally don't have any objection to it because as soon as they quiet their minds, they feel better and they're calmer and feel more peaceful. And that exercise and learning how to do that in and of itself is helpful. Yeah. It's the mind that makes us crazy. The present moment is usually just fine. It's the stories that we have in our heads that we're running all the time. Even if it's not a clear train of thought, it can be in the form of images or just the sense of doom that we have about something that might be coming up or something that we might think might happen. And our nervous system gets accustomed to feeling that way. And I mean, as soon as we wake up in the morning and our feet hit the ground, we're normally on a trajectory about the day and whatever problems we perceive that we have and whatever it is we think we need to fix or isn't good enough in our lives or whatever. So our energy automatically goes to that direction. But the thing is that more we can be present and feel our feet on the ground and breathe, the present moment is usually just fine. There's nothing that needs to happen. And that's really the wisdom and the gift of nature in animals, for the most part, especially wildlife or animals living in their natural environment. The horses that I have here that live out in the pasture and aren't kept in stables and aren't asked to do things that humans often like to do with horses, are just allowed to live naturally. The only problems they have are their interactions with people. They don't have any problems.